So I've been wanting to talk about this handmade sketchbook that I ordered quite a while back. If you might have noticed a change in backgrounds on my intro, and that's because I got this a couple of months ago. Back when I did my mini art haul, this was the other sketchbook that I was waiting for. I really want to take the time to show you guys my appreciation for the packaging, because I love how you can really see the time and effort that went into the packaging of these. It feels really personal, and even just unboxing it in itself was already an experience for me, so thank you for that. I got this one from Craftel.ph on Instagram. It's a small Filipino business that makes these beautiful hand-bound sketchbooks, and I really want to urge you guys to support small local businesses like this one. If you're in the market for a new sketchbook, maybe check them out. But if you're not from the Philippines, because I don't know if they ship abroad, this is also going to be a review on the Fabriano Artistico watercolor paper that this is made from. This is my first time using this brand of paper, so I'm going to be talking about that too in this video. And I know that the paper is what this sketchbook is made from, because when you order from their Instagram account, you do get to choose what kind of paper that you want for your sketchbooks. You have the option to choose between the Canson watercolor paper, which is 25% cotton, and then the other Fabriano variety, which is also 25% cotton, and then this one, the Artistico, which is 100% cotton. You can also choose the size of the sketchbooks. I believe their best seller is these little mini sketchbooks that she makes, which are seriously adorable. But I went for this one, which is slightly bigger than my Limelight sketchbook. You can check out their Instagram account for more info. I'll be linking that on the description below too. This sketchbook was bound beautifully. I really love the feel of the cover, but it doesn't lay flat, which I thought was gonna be an issue, but it honestly isn't. You will need to hold it down when you paint on it, but I haven't noticed it as much as I thought it would. There's a page that isn't watercolor paper, which is Bristol paper. It's very smooth and very white, which I think is somewhere you can put your personal info down if you write those down before you start your sketchbooks. I don't do that, so I'm just gonna leave that blank. I do think that it gives you the option to glue that into the hard cover if the raw edges from the cover bothers you. Personally, it doesn't bother me at all, so I'll just leave that the way it is. I've already done a few paintings with these. The very first one was just trial, really, to make sure I get a hold of what I think of this paper before I do the video. But then the second one I filmed, and then I lost my voice because of my allergies acting up again, so I just uploaded that video as a negative painting with watercolors demo, and I have that video up on my channel too. So this is my third time painting on this sketchbook, and I really feel like I know this paper well enough to tell you guys what I feel about it, so here it is. And now I'm just gonna do a little demo with this paper. It's called pressed, so it does have a bit of a texture to it, but it's not as severe as, say, the Baohong watercolor paper that I normally use, which these are both very comparable because they're both 100% cotton and they're cold pressed. I really like this paper so much more. It does cost a little bit more than the Baohong one, so that's to be expected. Drawing on this paper wouldn't just eat up your softer pencils like they do with the rougher texture of the Baohong. And then you can actually use your softer brushes for this paper. On my Baohong, it feels like it requires a harder bristled brush to really get through to the rough texture, because these softer brushes are, I think, designed for more of a lighter hand that would give with the lightest amount of pressure, and I don't think that would work with the Baohong. I am painting Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice, and before I get asked, no, I didn't finish reading the book. I was told to in college, but I honestly didn't finish the book. I just don't like historical romance that much. I prefer contemporary. But a couple of months ago, this movie was showing on TV, and I just sat down and watched it. I ended up really liking it. I love the warm colors in a lot of the scenes. The movie really was very romantic in that sense, like visually, without you even reading the book, you already know just from looking at it that this is a very romantic movie, and I love that about it. So that's why I decided to paint this. I loved the dynamic between her and Mr. Darcy in the movie. I even like the actor for the role, which I heard was a bit of a controversy when it was first announced that he was playing the role at the time. I liked that he gave off this sort of shy and uncertain quality to him with regards to his feelings for Elizabeth. I would have painted a scene with them together, but I really wanted to capture the colors that drew me into the movie the most. And the paper itself is a little bit smaller, so for two characters I wouldn't have been able to put in this much details into the painting, so had I drawn both of them. So today we're just going to be drawing her. I really wanted to give this one a softer kind of look to this painting. I wanted to get just the lighting and the colors in general, instead of finishing the piece with a brush pen with my dark ink. She sort of has this ethereal kind of look to her, which is what I wanted to get in this painting, rather than have it very graphic towards the end, which is the style that I usually go for. And then because this paper isn't as rough as my older paper, I can already start to really get in there with the painting in the beginning and do light washes. Usually with my Baohong paper, because it's so rough, I first go into it with very big washes of water before it feels like it's ready for the finer details of the painting. So with this paper, because it's not as rough, I can really achieve that softer look to this one that I wanted, and it's 100% cotton, so I can really build up those details with as many layers as I need. After I did the initial washes for the backgrounds and the subject, I even went ahead and lifted some of the green in the background because I feel like it was looking a little bit too cool. So I took some water and just washed the background with it, and then I went over it with a rough cloth to lift some of that green out, and then I could go over it with the color that I wanted, which is a much warmer sort of yellowish brown. And even taking out the masking fluid isn't as rough on my finger as it usually is, because the paper isn't that rough. So the experience with this paper is way better than my Baohong, but it's also more expensive, so I don't know if I will trade it for this one just yet. I'll need to use the sketchbook a little bit more before I really decide on that. And then I finished this whole painting with my Holbein pencils to get that softer look that I was talking about, rather than the very dark brush pens that I would usually go for. So that is it for the whole video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.